Right. Good afternoon, students. Okay, my name is Harsha. I am going to teach you the CSAT Quant and Reasoning. So, CSAT Quant Reasoning ki manam major ga sessions conduct చేస్తున్నామండి. But what actually is here, one more point here is there are some Group 1 students also here, APPSC Group-1 students. So, almost for UPSC CSAT and APPSC Group-1, 80 to 90% of syllabus is same. Okay, so majorly we will focus on UPSC CSAT only, but at the end, if there are any questions related to APPSC Group-1 like that, we will discuss those questions also which are relevant to that topic. Okay, based on relevance only, there will be no special classes or anything like that. Anyway, almost you all know quant and reasoning will be more or less similar for all the examinations. There will be a little difference in the ఓరియంటేషన్, ఐ మీన్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్. ఎక్కడో ఒక చిన్న డిఫరెన్స్ మాత్రమే ఉంటుందమ్మా, ఐ మీన్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చనింగ్లో. బట్ సిలబస్ మీరు ఒకసారి చూస్తే రెండు కూడా ఇంచుమించు రెండు సేమే ఉంటాయి, మోర్ ఆర్ లెస్ బోత్ ఆర్ సేమ్. సో మేజర్లీ వీ ఫోకస్ హియర్ ఆన్ CSAT only, and then based on that we will discuss the remaining concepts. Okay, so next, now if you observe the pattern of CSAT papers, students, actually right now, see recently what is happening with this CSAT paper. If you observe carefully, earlier we can divide it into two sections. Back then in 2011 or 12 they started the CSAT paper separately. Earlier there used to be only one paper which included this quant and reasoning also in that, but from 2011 onwards they started a separate CSAT paper, I mean for as paper 2. So from then to till 2019 and 2020, how the questions are used to be there means they are based on formulas. Formula based questions ఎక్కువగా ఉంటుండే. సో వెన్ యూ రీడ్ ద క్వశ్చన్ మోర్ ఆర్ లెస్ ఏదైనా ఒక ఫార్ములాకి రిలేట్ చేస్తుండే వాళ్ళు ఆ క్వశ్చన్ని. వాళ్ళు మనకు కానీ ఆ ఫార్ములాస్ పర్ఫెక్ట్గా తెలిసి ఉంటే సింపుల్గా వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చిన డేటాని ఆ ఫార్ములాలో సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తుండే, అండ్ వీ యూస్ టు గెట్ ద ఆన్సర్స్, అండ్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్ యూస్ టు క్లియర్ ద పేపర్ వెరీ ఈజీలీ. CSAT paper. Why? Because we all know that is just 66 marks. There you need to score just 66 marks. That is enough. అప్పుడు 66 మార్క్స్ వస్తే ఈజీగా వస్తుండే. ఇప్పుడు 2019 2020 వరకు కూడా మోస్ట్లీ అందరు స్టూడెంట్స్కి రీజనింగ్లో డీసెంట్ గుడ్ ఇనఫ్ ఉన్నా అని, క్వాంట్లో కొన్ని టాపిక్స్లో పర్ఫెక్ట్గా ఉన్నా అని ఈజీగా క్లియర్ అవుతుండే పేపర్. గుడ్, అప్పటి వరకు బాగానే ఉన్నది. బట్ ఫ్రమ్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ 2020 ద ప్యాటర్న్ వాస్ చేంజ్డ్. ప్యాటర్న్ స్లైట్గా చేంజ్ చేసినారమ్మ. ఎట్లా చేంజ్ చేసినారంటే మీకు సింపుల్ అర్థం అవ్వాలని చెప్పాలంటే, మనకి గ్రూప్ 2 ఐ మీన్ స్టేట్ లెవెల్తో కంపేర్ చేస్తే గ్రూప్ 4 ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్లో జిఎస్ ఎట్లుంటుంది అండ్ యూపీఎస్సీలో జిఎస్ ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది. డిఫరెన్స్ మనకు మేజర్గా చూస్తే ఏమవుతుందంటే, జనరల్ స్టడీస్ క్వశ్చన్స్లో యూపీఎస్సీలో ఎనాలిసిస్ బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అడుగుతారు. గ్రూప్ 4కి వచ్చేసరికి మనకి స్ట్రైట్ టు ద పాయింట్, క్వశ్చన్ ఆన్సర్ అంతే. నీకు తెలిసే ఆన్సర్ మార్క్ చేస్తావు, లేకపోతే లేదు. సో బిఫోర్ 2019 ఈ CSAT పేపర్ ఎట్లుంటుండే అంటే గ్రూప్ 4 పేపర్ లాగా ఉంటుండే. అంటే ఫార్ములా తెలిస్తే నువ్వు వాల్యూ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తావు, ఆన్సర్ రాసేస్తావు, అయిపోతుంది. సో బట్ 2020 నుంచి 21 నుంచి ఏం చేసినాడంటే స్లోగా CSATలో కూడా ఎనాలిసిస్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాడు. ఓకే, డైరెక్ట్గా ఫార్ములా బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అడగడం చాలా తగ్గిపోయినది. అస్సలు అడగరని చెప్పను, బట్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ సమ్ అరౌండ్ 50 క్వశ్చన్స్ మనకు ఒక 4 to 5 ఫార్ములా బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయి. వాట్ అబౌట్ ద రిమైనింగ్ 40-45 క్వశ్చన్స్ అంటే అవి కంప్లీట్గా మనకి ఇప్పుడు ఎనాలిసిస్ బేస్డ్ పైన క్వశ్చన్స్ అడగడం స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నాడు. సో స్టూడెంట్ అనే వాళ్ళ అప్రోచ్ కూడా చేంజ్ అయినది మోస్ట్లీ, ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఫ్రమ్ ద లాస్ట్ 3-4 years. డెఫినెట్గా స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా కొంచెం కోపప్ అయినారు, వాళ్ళు క్లియర్ చేస్తున్నారు. బట్ స్టిల్ ఇంకెక్కడో వాళ్ళు చిన్న డిఫరెన్స్ అయితే ఉన్నదమ్మా. చాలామంది స్టూడెంట్స్ లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ కూడా చూడండి మీరు, కట్ ఆఫ్ ఈ ఇయర్ డెఫినెట్గా తగ్గుతుంది 2026లో కూడా. సో ఈ ఇయర్లో సరే మల్టిపుల్ ఫ్యాక్టర్స్, జిఎస్ పేపర్ 1 కూడా టఫ్ చేసినారు, 1, 2 రెండు కూడా డిఫరెంట్గా ఇచ్చినారు. సో అట్లా కొంచెం లాస్ అవుతారు స్టూడెంట్స్. బట్ CSAT పేపర్ మాత్రం కన్సిస్టెంట్గా లాస్ట్ 3-4 years నుంచి, అంతకుముందు విషయం పక్క పెట్టండి, లాస్ట్ 3-4 or 5 years నుంచి కన్సిస్టెంట్గా ఒక పర్టికులర్ ప్యాటర్న్ని ఫాలో అవుతున్నాడమ్మ. అదేమంటే కాన్సెప్చువల్ అప్రోచ్. ఫార్ములాస్ ఒక్కటి వస్తే మనకు ఆన్సర్స్ రావు. 80% ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్కి మనకు అసలు ఆన్సర్స్ రావమ్మా. డెఫినెట్గా నీకు కాన్సెప్చువల్ అప్రోచ్ ఉండాలి. నీకు కాన్సెప్చువల్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఉండాలి, దానిపైన ఫార్ములాస్ ఉండాలి. అట్లని ఫార్ములాస్ అసలు నేర్చుకోకూడదు, దాంతో సంబంధం లేదని కాదు. ఎస్, ఫస్ట్ నీకు కాన్సెప్చువల్ క్లారిటీ ఉన్నాక దానిపైన నువ్వు ఫార్ములాస్ నేర్చుకుంటే దెన్ ఈజీలీ యూ కెన్ క్లియర్ ద పేపర్. ఎల్స్ ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్ డిఫికల్ట్ టు క్లియర్ దట్ పేపర్. ఆ 66 మార్క్స్ కూడా చాలామంది స్టూడెంట్స్కి రావట్లేదమ్మా. జిఎస్లో ఆల్మోస్ట్ 90, 95, 100 వరకు వెళ్ళిన స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా కొంతమంది CSAT పేపర్లో ఆ 66 మార్క్ రాలేక క్లియర్ కాలేక ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు చాలామంది. ఎందుకంటే ద ఓన్లీ థింగ్ ఈజ్ ప్రాక్టీస్ ఒకటి. అంటే ఈ సెట్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్, అంటే ఈ టైప్ ఆఫ్ అప్రోచ్లో మనం క్వశ్చన్స్ సాల్వ్ చేయాలని చాలామంది స్టూడెంట్స్కి తెలియదు. అండ్ ఇంకో ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే ఇవి అనాలిసిస్ బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్నాం కదా. సో ఇట్లాంటివే సేమ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కానీ రిసెంబ్లెన్స్ కానీ ఎవరు ప్రిపేర్ చేయలేరు. నేను అది కూడా చెప్తున్నాను కదా, రేపు నన్ను కొన్ని ఎగ్జాంపుల్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇవ్వమని మేబీ ఇస్తుండొచ్చు ప్రాక్టీస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అవి, బట్ స్టిల్ అవి కూడా సఫిషియంట్ అవ్వవు. ఎందుకంటే ఇన్ టైం రియాలిటీ మనం ఎగ్జామ్లోకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఏ టాపిక్ అయినా తీసుకోవచ్చు, ఎట్లనైనా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయవచ్చు ఆ క్వశ్చన్ని, మనకి దాని నుంచి అవుట్పుట్ తీసుకొని రావడానికి ట్రై చేస్తున్నాడమ్మా. సో వీ విల్ ట్రై అవర్ బెస్ట్ టు లెర్న్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్స్. సో లీవ్ అబౌట్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ నేర్చుకుంటాం మనము, బట్ స్టిల్ నేను అది కూడా చెప్తున్నాను కదా, మనం ఎంత క్వశ్చన్స్ నేర్చుకున్నా కానీ స్టిల్ ఎక్కడనో ఒక చిన్న ల్యాగింగ్ అయితే ఉంటుంది. ఓపెన్ సీక్రెట్ అది, దాంట్లో దాచిపెట్టేది ఏం లేదు. సో ఫస్ట్ మనం ఫుల్ కాన్సెప్చువల్ క్లారిటీ తెచ్చుకుందాం అన్ని టాపిక్స్ పైన. సో దెన్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ దట్ మనం ఎన్ని డిఫరెంట్ మోడల్స్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ సాల్వ్ చేయగలుగుతామో అన్ని డిఫరెంట్ మోడల్స్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ సాల్వ్ చేస్తాము. సింపుల్, అదే మన సింపుల్ స్ట్రాటజీ. ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్సే ఇస్తారు, ఇట్లనే ఇస్తారు, ఇవి ఇంపార్టెంట్ అవి ఇంపార్టెంట్ కాదని రైట్ నో ఎవ్వరం చెప్పే పరిస్థితి కాదు. ఇది మేజర్. నెక్స్ట్ థింగ్, ఎందుకు సార్ ఇంత డిఫరెన్స్ వచ్చినది ఇంత ముందుకు ఇప్పటికే అంటే మా సింపుల్ రీజన్, రైట్ నో మనందరికీ తెలుసు ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్ అంటే ట్రాన్స్పరెన్సీ ఇష్యూ ఒకటి బాగా రన్ అవుతున్నది. సో ఎర్లియర్ ఎట్లుంటుండే అంటే ఒక క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ ప్రిపేర్ చేయడానికి ఒక 4 or 5 ఇంటెలెక్చువల్స్ని పిలిపించి సో వాళ్ళని ఒక 4 sets 5 sets ప్రిపేర్ చేయమని అంటుండే. ఎవరైతే పైన ఉన్న IAS ఆఫీసర్ ఉంటాడో సీనియర్ పర్సన్ తను ఒక పేపర్ని పిక్ చేస్తుండే, ఎగ్జామ్ కండక్ట్ చేస్తుండే. యూజువల్గా అది ఉంటుండే. బట్ రీసెంట్గా ఈ పేపర్ ఇష్యూస్, ఈ పేపర్ లీక్స్ ఇవన్నీ వీళ్ళు ట్యాకిల్ చేయడం కోసం ఏం చేస్తున్నారంటే వెరీ సింపుల్, నాట్ ఫ్రమ్ 4-5 people, దే ఆర్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ కలెక్టింగ్ ద డేటా ఫ్రమ్ 100 people. సింపుల్. ఇప్పుడు 4-5 members అనుకోండి, ఇప్పుడు నేనున్నాను, కొంచెం లిబరల్గా ఇద్దాం పేపర్ అనుకొని లిబరల్గా ఇస్తాను. ఇంకొక అతను ఉన్నాడు, కొంచెం హై స్టాండర్డ్లో ఇద్దామని హై స్టాండర్డ్ పేపర్ ఇస్తుండే. సో ఇంత ముందుకు ఎట్లుంటుండే అంటే ఒక పేపర్ ఉంటే ఈజీగా ఉంటుండే, లేకపోతే ఒక పేపర్ టఫ్గా ఉంటుండే. వై? బికాస్ ఒకతను ప్రిపేర్ చేసినవే అన్ని సెట్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉంటుండే. సో ఇప్పుడు ఒక అతను ఈజీగా ఇవ్వాలి క్వశ్చన్స్ అంటే ఏవైతే 50 questions తను ఇవ్వాలనుకున్నాడో 50 ఈజీగా ఇచ్చేస్తాడు. ఒకతను హై స్టాండర్డ్లో ఇవ్వాలనుకుంటే ఆ 50 అన్నీ కూడా టఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇస్తాడు. సో ఏమవుతుంది అప్పుడు, ఈజీ ఇస్తే అందరికి ఈజీ, టఫ్గా ఇస్తే అందరికీ టఫ్, 2 కేసెసే ఉంటుండే. అయితే ఇప్పుడు ఎప్పుడైతే ఒక మల్టిపుల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్స్ నుంచి క్వశ్చన్స్ గ్యాదర్ చేస్తున్నారో సో ఆల్మోస్ట్ వాళ్ళకి చాలా క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్స్ వస్తాయి. సో కంప్లీట్గా ఒకరి ఆన్సర్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కాకుండా ర్యాండమ్గా క్వశ్చన్స్ పిక్ చేయడం స్టార్ట్ చేసినారు. సో ఎప్పుడైతే ఇప్పుడు ర్యాండమ్ సెలక్షన్ అవుతుందో, ఇప్పుడు పిక్ చేసే అతడు IAS ఆఫీసర్ సీనియర్ ఉంటాడు, ఎప్పుడో లాంగ్ బ్యాక్ తను ప్రిపేర్ అయి ఉంటాడు, లేటెస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏమి తెలియవు తనకి, ప్రతి క్వశ్చన్ చదివి పిక్ చేసినది సాల్వ్ చేసే అంత కూడా ఉంటుంది వాళ్ళకి, సబ్జెక్ట్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఉంటుంది, ఉండదని కాదు, బట్ అట్లయితే సాల్వ్ చేయరు కదా. వాళ్ళు ర్యాండమ్గా పిక్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే ఒక క్వశ్చన్ చాలా ఈజీ క్వశ్చన్ రావచ్చు. ఓకే షూర్, సారీ. Okay, so when they pick question papers from almost 100 people, they may collect questions either from the toughest, either they pick a toughest question or they may pick a easiest one. So due to that reason, out of 50 questions, we cannot expect that 10 will be easy, 40 will be tough, or 40 will be tough and 10 will be easy. No one can predict the question paper. This is the present scenario of all the question papers. So due to that reason, no one is able to predict what the examiner is going to ask and how the question paper is going to be there, whether it is tough or easy. So it depends on your luck purely. Some questions will be very easy. If you see the same question paper, you can get an answer for one question in a less than 15 seconds or 20 seconds. But for some questions, they may take almost 2 to 3 minutes of time. So this is the major issue, students. So don't expect that only these kind of questions they will ask in the examination. First thing, never keep any special expectations on any topic. learn all the concepts from basic to the toughest one. On that particular day, whatever the question they ask you, you need to be prepared for that and answer that question. Simple. There is no shortcuts here. We need to learn the complete concept. Yes, we will solve multiple questions, but still they are not sufficient. I am telling it clearly and openly. So right now this is the scenario. So no one can guess the question paper. We will do our duty. If we are lucky enough, we will get maximum number of questions which we have practiced. Else we may get a different set of questions. But even though we get a different set of questions, we should be in a position to understand the question and write the answer for that question. Okay, this is our strategy to clear that CSAT paper. There is no doubt in that, no shortcuts, nothing. We will learn the concept and we will try to get the answers. Clear for everyone? So each and every topic right now we will discuss from basic to the toughest one, and every day we will provide you a handout like this, how we are providing to you. Anyway, the same questions will be displayed on the board also, but if I start dictating those questions, almost half of the time will go for dictation only. So we are not going to do that. We are not going to waste our time. Every day they will provide you a handout, whatever the questions which we are going to discuss in the class. You will have the handout. You can carry that handout. Okay, and just write the question number in your book and just solve the questions. And at the end of the course, anyway, I know you people will throw away these papers. So we will provide you a soft copy through mail or any channel, through any channel. The same question, handouts, whatever we are providing, but all at once we can do that one. Why? Because on daily basis, sometimes we may miss one topic or the other. That is the reason we will not do that now. In the last session, I will share you all the soft copies, whatever we are discussing from first to last in our last session. Clear? And next, if there are any students who are only there for APPSC Group 1, I want to make you clear one more thing, students, here. The thing here is, almost UPSC CSAT and APPSC Group 1 both are same. So need not to worry that we are learning some other concepts. No, both the concepts are same. Even in APPSC Group 1 also, they are asking very high standard questions. If you go through the question paper, in APPSC Group 1, there are 60 questions. In paper 2, I think in prelims level, we have 60 questions. So those 60 questions are also very, very important. Okay, we will learn those questions also and these questions also. As I already told you, there is right now, we are in a situation that we cannot decide the standard of any examination. That means Group 1, that is little bit less standard, so they may ask less question, less standard question, or UPSC high standard examination, they may ask us high standard questions only. It is not like that. Just now I told you, right? They may give you any question. Easiest one and the toughest one. You can see both of them in the same question paper. That is the scenario, students. So we will start learning the concepts. And the thing here is, students, we all know, and I want to give you one more clarity regarding our subject. So out of 80 questions in that paper 2, almost some 51 to 52 questions are from quant and reasoning, if you observe carefully, and 28 to 29 questions are from reading comprehension. Okay, so this 28 and 29, I am not concerned about that one. So our target is about this 51 to 52 questions, students. In this 51 to 52 questions, actually most of the students will think that quant and reasoning, they are giving equal number of questions, but actually no, students. What actually happening here is, this one we will segregate into 3 major sections. Even though quant and reasoning has 2 parts, but majorly we can divide it into number system, quant and reasoning. Number system is very, very, very important, students. Almost some 15 to 18 questions they are asking from number system alone itself. Number system is a purely conceptual area. We can frame n number of questions from number system. So it is purely concept oriented topic, that is number system. So because of this 18 questions or 15 questions, okay, let us take the least count only, 15 questions, the entire CSAT paper is looking very tough. So we can do it in multiple ways. See, out of 15 questions, I am telling it this case also. If we try to solve these 15 questions, it is not possible to solve the 15 questions in that 2 hours. In these 15 questions, students, there are some 8 to 9 questions which you will get answers very quickly. But the remaining 6 questions are there, right? Even if I sit personally in the examination hall also, I will take more than 1 hour of time. This is how they are framing the questions. So here our target is not to attempt all the questions. Please be clear with that. First thing, if we try to attempt all the questions from number system, it will take more than 1 hour for that 5 to 6 questions only every year. If you observe carefully, we will later, when we start solving the concepts, we will come across those questions also. Each question, if a person sit in examination hall, not in a random position. When you sit in the examination hall, it takes around 20 to 25 minutes to get the answer. Such type of questions they are asking around 3 to 4 in every year. Every year they are asking those questions. We should be very smart enough to avoid that 3 to 4 questions. Mainly. Then we can clear the paper. Okay, out of 15, if we attempt 8 to 9 from this one, and we will be left with more 35 questions, right, from quant and reasoning. Here we can target around some 20 to 25 questions. Here we can target 25 questions from this one. So 25 and 9, almost it will lead to 34. We can easily clear the paper. The first thing is, right from the first day onwards, okay, we will try to differentiate the toughest question and the easiest question in number system. You should be very careful. I am repeating again and again. If you try to get the answers for that 4 or 5 questions which take more time, definitely it will kill your time in the examination hall. We should be very smart in picking or avoiding those questions. We should never touch those questions. I am telling it again and again. If I personally sit in the examination hall also, I too will take 1 hour of time to get the answers for those 4 or 5 questions alone. I am not speaking about the complete paper. For that 4 or 5 questions alone, it takes 1 hour of time. Okay. So we should be very smart to avoid that 4 or 5 questions, and we will try to get the answers for all the remaining questions here. We will see both that easiest one and the tough one which takes half an hour or 25 minutes to get the answer in the examination. Why I am telling means, see students, after finishing the examination, even we as a faculty will start discussing the question papers. Everyone will start discussing the question papers, right? So while discussing the question papers, we may get the answer in less than 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Fine. But no one knows that what is the homework which we are doing before explaining that question. Before explaining that question, definitely we will practice, right? At that time, it will take around 20 to 25 minutes of time. After getting the answer for once, you may get the answer in 1 minute also for the next time. Is it correct or not? See, when I am trying to get the answer for the first time, it may take me 20 minutes or 25 minutes. But after once getting the answer, to explain you, it will take just 2 minutes. Is it correct or not? So, getting that idea is very difficult. That is the point here. After one person explains you that this is this and so, yes, you will get the answer in 2 minutes. But in reality, in examination hall, when you sit in the examination hall, definitely it will take 20 to 25 minutes of time. So that is the reason, students. When we explain the question paper, yes, we will explain all that 50 questions or 55 questions in 1.5 hour or 2 hours. But in reality, before explaining that paper, we will sit around some 1.5 to 2 hours to get all the answers, and we will make a set of answers for those questions, and then we will start explaining you. So try to understand the reality. Okay, that is how the things will go actually. So now we will see the concepts of this number system. First, we will start number system, students, and then we will go to quant, and finally we will discuss reasoning. Okay, for this number system, as I already told you, we should have the best conceptual analysis and knowledge, then only we will get the answers. So for that, we will start discussing from the basic onwards, that is from numbers onwards. We will discuss each and everything in a detailed manner, and then we will try to solve that handouts, and we will try to learn the subject, student. So our first topic from today, it is number system. And meanwhile, in between the session, if you have any doubt, just raise your hand, clear your doubt, and then later we will continue the session. If you have any emergency, without my permission, you can leave and come back and sit. There is no issue, but don't try to disturb the others. Okay, clear? Right. Now, in this number system, students, actually, we have 4 different types of number systems. Actually, what are those means? First one is decimal system. Okay, we will come to that one later. First one is decimal system. Next one is binary system. Octal system. Octal system and hexadecimal system. Hexadecimal system. These are the systems in general we have. But what we do is, we will discuss only about one thing here. See, decimal system means we will discuss about, in decimal system, we will have digits from 0 to 9, students. 0 to 9, how many digits are there? 10 digits. So that is the reason we call it as decimal system. Decimal system. And when it comes to binary system, we will discuss only about zeros and ones. So binary, that is the reason we call it as binary system. And next, when it comes to octal, we will discuss about digits from 0 to 7. 0 to 7, 8 digits we will discuss, and that is octal. And next, hexadecimal means we will discuss from 0 to 9 and from then A to F. So total 16 we will have. So about these 16 digits in hexadecimal system they will speak. So, but whatever the numbers which we are using in our day-to-day life, what are those numbers, ma? Those numbers belongs to which system? Decimal system. Actually, see, any number when you write, actually what we need to do is, we need to use the bases to represent what system it is. We need to use the base to represent what type of system it is. But in general, anyway, in our day-to-day life, we will use only decimal system. That is the reason we never use the base as a 10. In actually speaking, we should use the base as a 10, but we never do that. We will simply ignore that. For example, students, we all have done this one in our schooling, right? What it is if you have 498, what we used to do? 8 into 1, okay, plus 9 into 10, plus 4 into 100. We all have done this one, right? And we used to expand this and we used to write this as 400 plus 90 plus 8. Did you ever get doubt why we are multiplying with only 1, 10 and 100? Why that is called as units place, tens place and hundreds place? The reason is we are learning decimal system. The numbers which we are writing is decimal system numbers. That is the reason 1 is 10 to the power of 0. This 10 is 10 to the power of 1. This 100 is 10 square. Why we are only multiplying with 1, 10 and 100,000? Next 1000, 10,000 we will multiply, right? The reason is the numbers which we are writing are decimal system numbers. Decimal system numbers. That is the reason we are multiplying them with 1, 10, 100 and so on. See, for example, you might have seen these binary numbers also. To the base 2. In our 9th class or 8th class, somewhere around that time, we used to write binary numbers, right? Then how we used to expand that one? This one we will write it as 1 into 2 to the power of 0. Next, we will write this 0 with 0 into 2 to the power of 1. This 0 with 0 into 2 to the power of 2. This 1 with 1 into 2 to the power of 3. And what we used to write this as 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1. And this is 9. We used to do, right? Why we are multiplying with 2 powers here? Why? Because this is binary system. Why we are multiplying with 10s here means this is decimal system. This is the reason we will multiply with 10 powers. 10 powers and we will call them as units place, hundreds place, thousands place, 10,000s place and so on. But under number system, students, we will only discuss about this decimal system, only about the 10 digits. Okay, actually number system means it contains 4 type of systems, but we never discuss about all the 4. We only concentrate on the numbers which we use in our day-to-day life, that is decimal system and we will purely discuss only about decimal system. Okay, we will not discuss about any other topics. Just for your knowledge sake, I have written these 4, but we are not going to discuss about these 3. Okay, those are not required for us. We only concentrate on the decimal system, that means digits from 0 to 9. We will see about their nature, how they varies, and how the questions will be asked on that based on the 10 digits only. We concentrate only on the 10 digits here. Recent. Okay. No, it is not binary. అది ఏమడిగినారంటే పీ బై క్యూ ఫామ్లోకి రాయమన్నారు. అది వేరేదమ్మా, నేను చెప్తాను. ఉన్నది బైనరీ అడగలేదు డైరెక్ట్గా, మనకు అది డెసిమల్లో అడిగినారు. అది చెప్తాను, అదేందో కూడా నేను చెప్తాను. రికరింగ్ డెసిమల్ నుంచి పీ బై క్యూ ఫామ్లోకి రాయమని అన్నారు. యూ విల్ డిస్కస్ దట్ టాపిక్ ఆల్సో. మనకి బైనరీ అయితే అడగలేదు. సరే, బైనరీ అడిగితే ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకుందాం, అదేం పెద్ద ప్రాబ్లం ఏం కాదు. వీ విల్ సీ. ఓకే, రైట్. So we will discuss only about number system, decimal system, right? Clear for everyone? We will learn only about the 10 digits from 0 to 9 and how the numbers changes and what is the nature of those numbers. We will discuss about that 10 digits. Now see here, students. We all know one complex number I will take. Okay, complex number means how it will be there. A plus IB. A plus IB is a complex number. This complex number endukantaru. Why it is called a complex number? Why? Because it have 2 types of numbers. One is real portion and the other one is imaginary portion. Now tell me, what is real portion in this one? A is the real number here, and what is the imaginary number here? B. B is the imaginary number, so that is the reason it is indicated with a suffix I. A is a real number and B is a imaginary number. Now please observe here, students. Here we will not discuss about these imaginary numbers, but the only thing we should know here is I square is equal to -1. I square is equal to -1. We should know this one thing. Why? Because in some rarest of the rare cases, recently they didn't ask, but back then once they asked, what is the value of -√9? What is the value of √9? So for 9 we all know what is the value of √9? 3, right? Plus or minus 3 we can take, or 3 we can take. Now what is the value of -9 means? See, we can write this as I square into 9. Why? Because I square value is -1, right? Then later I can write this as 3i. I square and square root will get cancelled. √9 is 3. We can write that as 3i. We can write that as 3i. Just for that sake, we will learn this one. What is this? I square. I square is -1. Apart from that, we don't require any other knowledge here. Okay, next, when it comes to this real numbers, students. Okay, this real numbers, from here onwards, our number system segregation starts. How we can divide it? 2 types of numbers are there, right? What are there? Rational numbers, irrational numbers. Rational numbers and irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. Now tell me, what are the numbers are called as rational numbers? Which can be written in the form of P by Q. Any number which can be written in the form of, you can write there, can be written in P by Q form. We can call them as rational numbers. We will call them as rational numbers. Any number which can be written in the form of P by Q is called rational numbers. Now, what is called irrational numbers? Which can't be written in P by Q form. Which we cannot write in the form of P by Q. That is called as irrational number, which can be written in the form of P by Q form. We call it as rational numbers. And now tell me, what is the example for these irrational numbers? Tell me some examples of these irrational numbers. Yes, √2, √3, pi, 1.41798 2, and so on. So students, root 2 in general we will take it as 1.414, that is approximated value only, not an exact value. So that is the reason we will consider root 2 as irrational number. Similarly, root 3 also 1.732 we will take, that is also an approximated value, not an exact value. Pi value 22/7 we will take, right? That is also an approximated value. So we cannot take all those values, and this is this one is what we call it as recurring means non-terminating, non-recurring decimal. Non-terminating and non-recurring decimal, we call this as also an irrational number. Okay, now come to these rational numbers. Did you write up to here? Please note down up to here. We will continue with these rational numbers, segregation from rational numbers and so on. We will see. Here you can write non-terminating and non-recurring are irrational numbers. Non-terminating and non-recurring are irrational numbers. Non-terminating and non-recurring are irrational numbers. Right. Any student is from non-math background in your graduation or in your okay, ma. If anyone have told you that CSAT paper is very easy, no maths will be there, without maths you are going to clear that paper, all those are false. I am saying it very clearly and openly. Someone have misguided you. Actually, in the recent times, as I already told you, they are expecting conceptual knowledge. Whether you are math background student or non-math background students, you don't have any other choice. Definitely you should learn the subject. That is the reason I am starting from the basics. Okay, all these things you have learned in your schooling. The only thing is around some 4 to 5 years back you have learned it. So I am just trying to recollect those things. So there is no choice, no shortcut to clear this paper. Definitely you should learn this math portion. First of all, please be clear with that one. Don't think that I am a non-math background student, I cannot solve these questions. It is not going to happen without solving this or without learning these topics. Even for math background students also, these topics will be 50% not similar to them. Okay, so that is the reason. So don't think that very easily we will clear the paper. It is not a correct thing actually. Okay, now when it comes to this rational number students, okay, anyway irrational, we will not have any irrational numbers more than that. Now when it comes to this rational numbers, see, any number which can be written in the form of p by q is called a rational number, right? So when it comes to this rational numbers students, see, we have multiple types of rational numbers. First one is fractions. Directly we know p by q numbers we will have here, those are called as fractions. Next, in this we will have some set of decimals also. There will be some decimals. For example, 1.2 is there students. What you will write this as? Can you write this as 12 by 10? Yes, we will write this as 12 by 10, right? This is p by q only. So yes, we can write this in the form of p by q. So decimals will be there. And then next one, we will have our integers. We will discuss about that integers later. Now first see this fractions students. See, based on fractions also they asked one question. very important, this fractions also. Sir, what is there to learn in this fractions means you should know what is called as proper fraction and improper fraction. Okay, so first thing, proper fraction. What type of fraction is called as proper fraction, students? If the numerator is less than denominator, or else let us consider denominator is greater than numerator. Anyway, both are same. Denominator is greater than numerator. We call this as a proper fraction. We call this as a proper fraction. Okay. So I will, with examples, we will understand in a better manner. That is 3 by 4. 3 by 4. If denominator is greater than numerator, then that is called a proper fraction. Okay. Next, similarly 1 by 2. Next 4 by 5. All these are what? Proper fractions. Okay. If the denominator is greater than numerator. Why? Because students, they asked one question like this. How they have asked means, if a proper fraction, observe the question carefully, if a proper fraction is increased by a constant, if a proper fraction is increased by a constant in numerator and denominator, okay, and they compared how the options were given is new number is less than old number is greater, I mean like that they are. I will tell the example later we will write that example, you not to worry. So this is proper fraction. We will write that example later. Next one, what is improper fraction? Opposite to this. Yes, improper fraction means if numerator is greater than denominator, then this is called as improper fraction. Examples we can take it as 4 by 3, 3 by 2. These type of fractions we call it as improper fractions. Improper fractions. That means numerator will be greater than denominator. ఇది కొంచెం నీట్గా డీటెయిల్డ్గా రాయండి. Please write down this clearly and in a detailed manner. Okay. So numerator is greater than denominator, then we call it as improper fraction. There is one more type. What it is? Mixed fraction. From where this mixed fraction was derived, students? From improper fraction. See, 4 by 3, and listen one more thing. You should never write your answer as 4 by 3. 4 by 3 can be further solved, right? We can write it as 1 by 3. 1 by 3. So remember one thing carefully. Our answer should be always in proper fraction or in mixed fraction. You should never write your answer in improper fraction. Okay, take any theory based examination also. At the end, if you get the answer as 3 by 2, don't leave there itself. You should write that 3 by 2 either as 1.5 or else 1 by 2. But you should never leave your answer as 3 by 2. Remember this. You should write it as 1.5 or 1 by 2, but you should not write the answer as 3 by 2. If you get an answer as 1 by 2, you can leave. You can write the answer as 1 by 2 or 0.5. There is no issue with that one. But when you get an answer in improper fraction, definitely please convert it into a mixed fraction. Please convert it into a mixed fraction. So this is about fractions. This is about fractions. So by the word fraction itself, we all are very familiar. They can be written as P by Qs. All those numbers can be written as P by Qs. Next, when it comes to this decimals, students, there are two types of decimals which we consider under these proper fractions. First one is terminating decimals. Terminating decimals. What are terminating decimals? We will take example 1.2, 1.354. These all have some end, right? 1.2 I can write it as 12 by 10. Can I write 1.2 as 12 by 10? Yes, we can write. Can I write 1.354 as 1354 by 1000? That one also I can write in the P by Q form, right? So terminating decimals, all the terminating decimals are rational numbers. Why? Because we can write them as P by Q. We will count simply after decimal point how many digits are there, and we will simply put zeros in the denominator, and we can write it in the form of P by Q. Yes, all terminating decimals are rational numbers. Next, non-terminating non-terminating but recurring. Non-terminating but recurring decimals. Sir, what is this non-terminating but recurring? We will take examples, students. 0.33333. Is that right? This is a non-terminating decimal. Recurring means repeating. Recurring means repeating. 3 is repeating, right? So these type of decimals are also rational numbers. Rational numbers. How, sir? Just a sample I will explain this one. Later for all these things we will have examples. Need not to worry. I will explain each and everything with example. Just for time being, please see this one. 0.3333, I told you that this is a rational number. We will try to prove it. Let us consider this as x. X is equal to 0.3333 and so on, right? I am considering x as 0.333. I will multiply 10 on both sides. When I multiply 10 on both sides, what it will become? 10x, and what this becomes? 3.333 and so on, right? Right? Now next what I do here is 10x is equal to, I will write intentionally this as 3 plus 0.333. Can I write it? Yes, I can write it. Next, this becomes what? 10x is equal to 3 plus, what is 0.333 and so on? X. X only. Now I will send x to this side. What happens to this? 9x is equal to 3. Now x value will become 1 by 3. P by Q form only. Same x 0.333, same it is 1 by 3. So we can write it in the form of P by Q. So that is the reason this non-terminating but recurring decimals are also rational numbers. Earlier we have written, please observe here, non-terminating and non-recurring. See, these are all irrational numbers. Why? Because they are not even terminating and they are not even recurring. So these are irrational numbers. Now 0.353535. This one is also a rational number. Why? Because what is recurring here? 3535 is recurring. So that one is also a rational number. So this is also a rational number. So this is about fractions and decimals. We will discuss about integers next. Okay, clear for everyone? See, this terminology is very, very important. I am repeating again and again. In questions, we will come across all these terms. Rational we will see, irrational we will see, proper fraction, improper fraction. All these terms we will come across while solving the questions. Definitely we will see. Even in previous years questions also they asked all these terms. We will see all those questions. So here terminology is very, very important. That is the reason I am explaining each and everything. Okay, later while solving the problems it becomes easy for us. Okay, right. Next set of one is, next one we left here is integers, right? We will discuss about these integers separately. Now integers are divided into how many categories, students? How many categories we have? 3 categories actually. What are those? We can see most of the students will mistake that as there are only 2 categories. One is positive integers and the other is negative integers, right? But in general we have negative integers, yes, that is correct. Next, positive integers, that is also correct. And along with that we have one more category, that is 0. 0 is neither positive nor negative. Okay, we should not consider 0 in any one of these 2 cases. 0 is neither positive nor negative. 0 is a complete different integer. You should never include 0 in positive integers. Most of the students will do this mistake. Don't consider 0 as positive integers. Why? Because see, later while solving the cases, sometimes we will have a case like this, 3n plus 2, and they will mention that n is a positive integer. N is a positive integer. So usually these type of questions we do trial and error, students. Trial and error means we will put some random values. We will check whether it is satisfying or not. So if we don't know what is the meaning of positive integers, what few students will do is they will start taking n value as 0. They will do, and they will say that 3n plus 2 is, for example, the condition is like this: 3n plus 2 is always greater than or equal to 3. For example, this is the condition. So if you put n value as 0 here, what happens here? This will become 2, and what you will say, this is false, sir. You don't know what is the meaning of positive integers, and you have taken n value as 0, and you will face the difficulty here. But actually, from what values I need to take here? From 1 I need to take here. So when I take n value as 1, what it becomes? 5. Yes, 5 is greater than or equal to 3. Next I will take 2. This becomes 8. 8 is like this. If you take all the values, yes, it is always greater than or equal to 3. So this type of understanding is very, very important for us. So 0 is not a positive integer. Remember this one carefully. 0 is not a positive integer. Next, before going to further things, we will discuss few things about 0. Okay. 0 by 1. What is 0 by 1? 0. 0 by 1 is 0. Actually, 0 is divisible by any number. Remember this word. 0 is divisible by any number. Output is 0. 0 is divisible by any number. 0 is divisible by any number. Output is 0. Next, 1 by 0. Not defined, but usually we call it as infinite. No problem. Anyway, you will not get the answer with both the things, right? So there is no issue. 1 by 0 is not defined. These small things will play key role while solving the problems. Okay, remember this. It may look like very small thing, but usually these things will play very key role while solving the problems. 0 by 1 is 0, and 1 by 0 is undefined. Still, everyone have completed your graduations. If I ask suddenly, almost 20 to 30% students will say wrongly the answer for this question. There is no doubt in that. So remember like this: 0 is divisible by any number, but the output is 0. Output is 0. Simple. 0 is divisible by any number. So that is the case. Now, for these positive integers, we have one more name. What it is, students? For these positive integers, we have one more name. Natural numbers, right? Natural numbers. These positive integers is also called as natural numbers. From where we will have natural numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, right? So the same natural numbers are also called as counting numbers. Sometimes they may also use the word counting. Why? Because we will start counting from 1, right? 1, 2, 3 and so on. So the same natural numbers are called as counting numbers. We never start counting from 0. Remember. Okay. And now tell me, what are non-negative integers are called? Non-negative integer means what? Where we will include 0 and positive numbers, then those numbers are called as whole numbers, non-negative integers. Now there is one more condition like this: 3n plus 1 is always greater than 2, where n is non-negative integer. Where n is non-negative integer. 3n plus 1, right? N is non-negative integer means what are the values of n I can take here? 0. From 0 I can take here, right? So when I take 0 in place of n, what is its value? 1. Is 1 greater than 2? No. Then this condition fails. For example, same thing, if n is a positive integer means this condition prevails or passes here. Correct or not? So just by one word the meaning will change. So please be careful with these terms. Each and every time I am discussing. Why? Because anyway we will discuss them further also in the questions. We will see the difference. So we should know all these terms. Then only we will get the answers easily. Okay. Right. So natural numbers, these positive integers are called as natural numbers. And now come to these natural numbers once again. These natural numbers are divided into based on factors. See, actually we have two major sections. One is even digits and odd digits. Even and odd digits is fine. So which numbers are called even digits? Any number which is divisible by 2 is called even digit. Now tell me, is 0 an even digit or odd digit? 0 is an even digit or odd digit? Even digit. Just now we discussed 0 is divisible by any number, right? So then obviously 0 is also divisible by 2. 0 is an even digit. 0 is an even digit. Remember this, 0 is an even digit. This is one more confusing area. 0 is even digit. That is the reason I told 0 is divisible by any number. 0 is divisible by any number. Remember this one. 0 is an even digit. Even digit, not an odd or neither nor. It is not like that. Yes, 0 is an even digit only. Okay, leave that. So based on even and odd, we all know any number which is divisible by 2 is called even digit, which is not divisible by 2 is called an odd digit. Now based on factors, students. Based on factors. Now based on factors also, these numbers are, natural numbers are divided into 3 categories. What are those factors? First of all, what are called factors and what are called multiples? What are called factors and what are called multiples? Which numbers we call factors? To be frank, to tell what are factors and multiples, we all face difficulty. Let us take an example, students. So let us take 10. What are the factors for 10? Only 2 and 5. 1, 2, 5 and 10. These are the factors for 10. What are the multiples of 10? 10, 20 and so on. Okay. So these are called factors and these are called multiples. So when it comes to these factors, few things we will try to analyze here. First thing, factors will be always less than or equal to given number. Is it true or false? Factors will be always less than or equal to given number. So see the factors 1, 2, 5 and 10. It may be equal. Yes, definitely it will be equal. One factor will be its own. So definitely it will be equal. So these are factors. Next, when it comes to multiples, multiples will be always greater than or equal to given number. So least multiple is its own. And from there onwards, the highest multiple is infinite. Okay, next thing, factors are finite in number. Finite in number. Finite in number. Finite means countable. Factors are countable in number. When it comes to multiples, can we count multiples? No. So multiples will be infinite in number. Okay, factors are finite in number. When it comes to multiples, they are infinite in number. Infinite in number. Factors will be always less than or equal to given number. Given number. These are factors. Multiples will be always greater than or equal to given number. Given number. See students, you people have learnt all these things in your schooling. There is no doubt in that. But the thing is, most of us have forgot about these things. Even I was not, if I am not teaching this subject, even I too might have forgot this long back ago. But as I am teaching, I remember all these things. So that the same thing happens with you. You people know what are called factors, what are called multiples, and which numbers are called factors, which numbers are called multiples. But suddenly, if anyone asks you, it takes some time for you. That is the reason, just to make sure that you recollect all the things we are writing this. Later, all these terms, words will come in our problems. Okay. We will try to get the answer. So these are called factors and these are called multiples. Factors will be finite in number. Now suddenly some students will come, sir, how factors will be finite in number? Want to tell me the number of factors for infinite. So it is not like that. If anyone says you a number, you can tell the number of factors of this number. If anyone asks you, tell me what are the factors for infinite, means first I will ask him, tell me what is that infinite number. I will write it and then I will calculate it. So it is like that. So factors will be finite in number, multiples will be infinite in number. Just remember that one. Okay, now based on factors, tell me students how many sets, sorry. Okay, let us leave that one aside. Okay, based on factors, these natural numbers are divided into how many categories? 4. Okay, what are those? I know, even not leave that, man. That is not based on factors. See, we will have prime numbers and composite numbers, right? Right. So along with these two, there is one more set, that is 1. Why? Which numbers are called prime numbers? Okay. See, actually, yes, 1 and itself. So which numbers are called prime numbers means which have exactly 2 factors. This is how we should learn the topic. Which have exactly 2 factors are called prime numbers. So exactly 2 factors, those are called as prime numbers. And what are those 2 factors? 1 and itself. And the factors are 1 and itself. Okay. But please tell me what are the factors for 1? Only one factor, right? That is the reason it is not a prime number. Okay. 1 is not a prime number. Why? Because it has only one factor. That is the reason 1 is not a prime number. So 1 will not come under prime numbers. 1 is separate entity. It is neither prime nor composite. 1 is neither prime nor composite. So that is the reason 1 will not come under prime numbers. Next, when it comes to these composite numbers, more than 2 factors, then all those numbers are called as composite numbers. More than 2 factors, we call them as composite numbers. So we have 3 sets based on factors: 1, prime numbers, and composite numbers. So prime means which have exactly 2 factors. If they have exactly 2 factors, then only we call them as prime number. Why I am stressing this point means recently they are asking these type of things in statements. They will say that which have less than 2 factors. Most of the students are opting that option. Less than 2 factors they are giving one option. Exactly 2 factors they are giving. Okay. At least 2 factors. These type of words they are using. So what is our answer? Exactly 2 factors. Then only they are called prime numbers. Exactly 2 factors. Not less than 2 factors or less than or equal to 2 factors. Exactly 2 factors. Why? Because less than or equal to 2 factors means 1 also comes under that category, right? Is 1 a prime number? No. 1 is not a prime number. That is the reason we should not consider that. Exactly 2 factors, then only it is called a prime number. If it is more than 2 factors, composite number. Less than 2 factors means neither nor. They didn't mention what is the name for it. Neither prime nor composite. So this is the cases which we have. Now what? So I hope everyone understood the segregation. So first once again, just as a recap. So there is a complex number a plus ib. So where a is the real portion and I is the imaginary portion. We don't read about this imaginary portion. The only thing which we should know here is I square is equal to minus 1. That too for the sake of that root over minus values. Just for the sake. For example, if I have minus 16, what I do is intentionally I write this as I square into 16. Then I can write this as 4i. Just for that sake, we will learn this I square is equal to minus 1. Apart from that, they are not asking this area, but just for a safe side. Now come to this real portion. These real numbers are once again divided into 2 categories. One is rational numbers and the other one is irrational numbers. Which can be written as P by Q, we call it as rational numbers. Which cannot be written in as P by Q, we call it as irrational numbers. Okay, now examples are root 2. See students, I strongly believe that whether you remember the words or the technicality behind that, but you will remember the examples better. That is the reason under each and every statement I am trying to give you the examples. So root 2, root 3, pi, 1.417, these are all irrational numbers. We cannot write them in the form of P by Q. Now when it comes to these rational numbers, once again these rational numbers are divided into two things: fractions, decimals and integers. One more thing, this is decimals, we are learning decimal system. That is different and this is different, ma. Don't think that anyway decimal system we are learning, so everything will, it is not, these are decimals. Okay, now fractions, there are three types of fractions for us: proper fraction, improper fraction and mixed fraction. Proper fractions means where denominator will be greater than numerator. These are examples. Improper means where our numerator will be greater than denominator. And remember one thing, always we should write our answer either in proper fraction or in mixed fraction. We should never write our answer in improper fraction. Leave that aside. Next, when it comes to these decimals, actually there are three types of decimals, students. First one is terminating decimals. Next one is non-terminating and recurring. And the third one is non-terminating, non-recurring. Out of these three categories, two categories come under rational. One is terminating and the other one is non-terminating and recurring. And the third category goes under our irrational numbers, that is non-terminating and non-recurring. Okay. Next, when it comes to these integers, there are three types of integers for us: negative, 0 and positive. Okay. 0 is neither positive nor negative. And remember, 0 is divisible by any number. That means 0 by anything is 0. Anything by 0 is not defined or infinite. Whatever it is, anyway, we are not going to get the answer. Both are same. Okay, next, when it comes to these natural numbers, positive integers have one more name, that is natural numbers. These natural numbers are, once again, not only these natural numbers, integers. Overall, integers are divided into two categories: positive integers and negative integers. Integers totally are divided into two categories, not only positive integers. Overall, that means -2 is an even integer. -2 is an even integer. Don't think that integers means only positive. It is not like that. Sorry. Even numbers means only positive. Yes, there are negative even numbers and negative odd numbers also. Overall, integers are divided into two categories: even and odd. So any number which is divisible by 2, that is called as even integer. Any number which is not divisible by 2 is called as odd integer. So 0 is an even integer. Why? Because 0 is divisible by any number. 0 is an even integer. And next, when it comes to this positive integers, we have the static name for it. What it is? Natural numbers. These natural numbers, once again, based on factors, are divided into three categories: 1, prime numbers and composite numbers. So which have exactly two factors are prime numbers, which have more than two factors are composite numbers, and 1. 1 is a separate entity. It is neither prime nor composite. Clear for everyone? Terms and terminology, right? Next, we will see few things about this. Aunam. 2. Okay. అందుకు అదే చెప్తున్నాను. ఓకే, గుడ్ క్వశ్చన్ సార్. 0 అనేది డివైడ్ అవ్వదు కదా మా. ఆడ్ డిజిట్స్కి సపరేట్ డెఫినేషన్ లేదు యాక్చువల్గా. ఈవెన్ కానీ ఆడ్ అంటాం. అర్థమైందా? సింపుల్. ఆడ్ ఇప్పుడు ఈవెన్కి డెఫినేషన్ ఏమున్నది? వాట్ ఈస్ ద డెఫినేషన్ ఫర్ ఈవెన్? divisible by 2 is called as even. Like that, we don't have any special definition for odd. Whatever the leftover numbers are there, those are called as odd integers. So 0 is divisible by 2. Obviously, it will go under even digits. Then there is no scope of not divisible, right? అవును, 3తో అది మన కాన్సెప్ట్ కాదు కదా. ఈవెన్ ఆర్డర్ నువ్వు దేన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని చెప్తున్నావు? 2ను ఒక్కదాన్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని చెప్తున్నావు. 3తోని చాలా డివైడ్ అవుతాయి. ఈవెన్ డిజిట్స్ కూడా చాలా 3తో డివైడ్ అవుతాయి కదా. అది కాదు మనకి డిఫైన్ చేసింది. ఏంటంటే ఓన్లీ 2తోని డివైడ్ అయిన నెంబర్స్ ఈవెన్ నెంబర్స్, 2తో డివైడ్ కాని నెంబర్స్ ఆడ్ నెంబర్స్, అంతే. రెండే కేటగిరీస్. సో 0 అనేది డివైడ్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి ఈవెన్లోకి వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఇంకా డివైడ్ కానీ ఇవి ఏ ఉన్నా కానీ అవి ఆడ్ ఇంటీజర్స్. సింపుల్. మనకి ఆడ్కి స్పెషల్గా డెఫినేషన్ లేదండి. ఏవైతే ఈవెన్ కావో అవి ఆడ్. Whatever the numbers which are not even, obviously they will go under odd numbers. That's it. Okay. Now we will see few things about these prime numbers. About these prime numbers, we will see few things. About these prime numbers, we will see. First point is 2 is the only even prime number. 2 is the only even prime number. 2 is the only even prime number. Apart from 2, no other prime number is even. All the remaining prime numbers are odd in nature. Only 2 is the even prime. So 2 is very special, students. So why I am telling means, later while solving the problems, if we want to do trial and error, that means some equation they given based on x, 3x plus some. So definitely you will do trial and error, right? Earlier we have discussed what is the trial and error. Definitely you should include 2. That is why, because based on the 2 the answer may vary. Definitely 2 should be there, and then later whatever the odd prime number you want, you can take it, but 2 should be involved in every prime case. Why? Because that is the only even digit. So based on that our answer may vary. So that is the reason 2 is very, very important while doing trial and error, especially with prime numbers. Okay, 2 is the only even prime number for us. Next, except 2 and 5, all the remaining prime numbers end with 1, 3, 7 and 9. Except 2 and 5, all the remaining prime numbers end with 1, 3, 7 and 9. Only these 2 will end with 2 and 5. They start and end with 2 and 5. You take any prime number, they always end with either 1. That means nothing but units digit. Units digit is always 1, 3, 7 and 9. Okay, if you take any big prime number also, the units digit will be only these numbers. Okay, next one. All the prime numbers greater than 3 can be written as 6n plus or minus 1, where n is positive integer. All the prime numbers greater than 3 can be written as 6n plus or minus 1, where n is positive integer. But take any prime number greater than 3. Prime number greater than 3 means except 2 and 3 all are greater than 3 only, right? So take 5. Can I write 5 as 6 into 1 minus 1? I mean 6 into something minus or plus 1. Next, what is the next prime number we have? 7. What I can write 7 as 6 into 1 plus 1. 6 into 1 plus 1, right? A little bit huge number, take 29. 29 is a prime number. This 29 I can write it as 6 into 5 minus 1. Is it correct or not? So all the prime numbers can be written as 6n plus or minus 1. It doesn't mean that all the numbers of form 6n plus or minus 1 is a prime. Reverse is not possible. That means simple understanding. All fathers are men. All men are fathers? No? Right? This is false, right? So same category. All the prime numbers we can write it as 6n plus or minus 1. But all the numbers of form 6n plus or minus 1 are not prime numbers. Take example 25. 25. See, 25 I can write it as 6 into 4 plus 1, right? Is 25 a prime number? No, that is the meaning. All the prime numbers can be written as 6n plus or minus 1, but it doesn't mean that all the numbers of 6n plus or minus 1 are prime numbers. Okay, remember this one carefully. Next, there is only one set of 3 prime numbers with difference 2, with the difference 2, 3, 5 and 7. This is the only set of 3 prime numbers with a difference 2. Apart from this, no other prime number set will, 3 prime number set. I am speaking about 3 prime number set whose difference is 2. Whose difference is 2. Apart from this, no other set will have difference as 2. Only 3, 5 and 7 will have that speciality. Later, all these cases we will use in the questions. Okay, you should know this one. There will be no other prime numbers with a difference 2. I mean 3 prime numbers. See, take like example 11 and 13. Yes, difference is 2, but they are only set of 2. Like that, we cannot have 3. Apart from this 3, 5 and 7, you don't have any other numbers, any other prime numbers, right? Okay, these are about prime numbers, students. But 3 difference is not 2, right? When you include 2, 2 and 3 difference is only 1. Okay, right. Next, please observe this, students. Apart from this composite numbers and prime numbers, actually there are one more set of numbers, but we don't name what those numbers are. But by observation we can see what those numbers means. Please see here, students, which will have exactly 3 factors. There are numbers which have exactly 3 factors. Don't write. I will tell you how to write. 3 factors. There are numbers exactly 3 with 3 factors. What are those numbers? Means squares of prime numbers. Squares of prime numbers. For example, 2 is a prime number. What is its square? 4. What are the factors for 4, students? 1, 2 and 4. Next, 3 is a prime number. What is 3 square? 9. What are the factors for 9? Next, 5 is a prime number. 5 square. 5 square is 25. 1, 5 and 25. Let us take a big prime number. 17. 17 square is 289. 17 square we will have 289. And the factors for 289 are 1, 17 and 289. So, squares of prime numbers will have exactly 3 factors. Okay, squares of prime numbers will have exactly 3 factors. Write down the same point. Write down under that only. Squares of prime numbers. Squares of prime numbers. Squares of prime numbers. Squares of prime numbers will have exactly 3 factors. Squares of prime numbers will have exactly 3 factors. Squares of prime number will have exactly 3 factors. Okay. Now write a question below that. A question, example question. What is the least? Write an example, students. What is the least 3-digit number? What is the least 3-digit number? What is the least 3-digit number with exactly 3 factors? What is the least 3-digit number with exactly 3 factors? Which type of numbers will have exactly 3 factors? Squares of prime numbers will have exactly 3 factors, right? So, what is the least 3-digit number? Least 3-digit number. What is the least 3-digit number? 100, right? 100 is the least 3-digit number. 100 is a square, I mean perfect square. What it is? 10 square. But is 10 a prime number? No. What is the next perfect square number after 100? 121. Yes, 121 is there, right? 121 is a 3-digit number and it is a perfect square of what? 11 square. 11 is a prime number. Then yes, 121 will have exactly 3 factors. So 121 is the least 3-digit number with exactly 3 factors. This is how you should get the answers. Exactly 3 factors means you no need to calculate the factors for each and every number. Okay. squares of prime numbers will have exactly 3 factors, students. Remember this. Apart from this, no other numbers will have exactly 3 factors. They didn't name what type of numbers those are till now, but there is a chance they may name it. But till now we have only 2 sets. By observation, we came to know that there are some set of numbers with exactly 3 factors, and those set of numbers are squares of prime numbers. So our answer here will become 121. 121 is the least 3-digit number with exactly 3 factors. With exactly 3 factors. Right? 1 second, give me a second.